Hey folks, welcome back to today's edition of Notre Dame Daily. I'm Pete Mulroy, and it's good to be back with you. The last couple days on my end were completely jammed up. I'm sure all of you can relate in some aspects with your own lives, how busy life can get, but hope you had a great 4th of July weekend wherever you are. Hope you were safe, hope it was enjoyable. And from a Notre Dame perspective, I think the Irish, I think it's clear to say, obviously enjoyed their 3-day weekend celebrating the 4th of July. You talk about what this recruiting class in 2026 looked like. It was fantastic already. We have not seen a level of recruiting like we have the past couple of years under Marcus Freeman in a very long time. And as good as the class has been, it got even better over the weekend. Looking to vamp up the offensive side of the ball, I've been talking about it a lot as we've continued to track different recruits. Marcus Freeman and his staff had to be doing backflips this weekend, 3 consecutive days, 3 consecutive wide receiver commits, 2 players whose fathers played in the league, Caden Finley and Devin Fitzgerald. And then you get a fellow 4-star in Braden Robinson who comes to wrap up the weekend in just another swing and grand slam over the fence, walk-off home run for Marcus Freeman and company. Now in Finley, the Irish get a 6'1 talent from Aledo High in Texas, which is a high school that perennially plays high-level ball. So that's an added plus. A top 150 prospect in his class, according to multiple outlets, including 24/7. Finley's going to bring with him to South Bend incredible pass-catching skills due to his solid build and incredibly strong hands. His route running off the line is precise as well. And he comes here choosing Notre Dame over UCLA, Texas A&M, and the University of Texas, where his father went to school. So some interesting storylines there. I think overall we all felt pretty good about Caden Finley committing, and now we know that it actually has happened. With Fitzgerald and Robinson, the Irish get something of a more developmental player in the son of NFL great Larry Fitzgerald and a budding star in Robinson, at least in my opinion from what I've seen and read. This is a kid who possesses immense speed and agility, track star in high school as well. Athleticism jumps off the screen. And with these 3 signings, which happened July 4th, 5th, and 6th respectively, the big weekend now gives Notre Dame 5 recruits in the 26 class, of course with Bubba Frazier and Dylan Faison, who have great speed in their own right, having been committed prior to this past weekend. And again, overall, this is just another example of how different Irish recruiting and player development have been under Marcus Freeman. With this loaded class coming to campus, led by this remarkable now wide receiver room, I've got no doubt that Coach Freeman and company are going to have these guys ready to roll the moment they step foot on campus. I mean, this was just another unbelievable weekend. You talk about getting the guys in the 27 class like an Ellis McGaskin. The fan base is jacked up about him. More on that later in the program. Or in the 26 class, the likes of Tiki Ola. Or you go out and get the top 3 tight end in Ian Premer last week, and along with Preston Frizzell in that tight end room. Things continue to get better and better across the board. You talk about what Notre Dame has done in the state of North Carolina recently, building that pipeline in addition to what they had with states like Cali, Texas, and New Jersey. It's truly been remarkable and just something we have not seen as Irish followers and loyalists for a very long time. Not that the recruiting in the past had been bad, but this is a completely different level, and it just shows what can happen when you have a coach who's not just a great football coach, as Marcus Freeman is, obviously, but someone who legitimately cares about the kids that he is coaching on the field and off it. Kids want to play for a guy like that, a guy they can relate to, and someone who can relate to them. That's what Notre Dame has in Marcus Freeman, and you cannot understate that. Let's continue these freshman previews. I said at the end of last week, the next one would be Dallas Golden, 6'1", 180-pound defensive back from Berkeley Prep in Tampa, Florida. He highlights mostly as a corner, little safety in there, but he played wide receiver and running back in high school as well. So the two-way ability is very much on the table as he comes in to begin his freshman campaign in late August against Miami. He was a top 50 prospect according to multiple sources and outlets coming into Notre Dame. 4'5", 240, vert of 36 inches, and he's a pretty consistently strong with his bench press. Those metrics were all matched up and viewed coming in. Signed with Notre Dame in April of 24, and he came here by dismissing offers from Florida State, Miami, Georgia, the Gators, Clemson, and a slew of others. So this was a kid who wanted the education at Notre Dame, wanted to play high-level football, and the other offers have high-level football as well, but felt more confident, and coming to Notre Dame was the right fit for him as a person, as a student, and as an athlete. And this is going to be one of those fun ones where you watch the progression of this young man's career because of the high intelligence, the motor he possesses, but that ability to play on both sides of the football. You talk about wanting to play wide receiver in the secondary or both. His willingness to do it all makes him an unbelievable grab by the Notre Dame staff. And while it is expected that he slots in as an impact corner, his ability to flip to the other side of the ball won't be ignored. Marcus Freeman, we know, wants the best players on the field at all times, and he's no stranger to utilizing different players' skill sets to do just that. I expect that to be the case with Golden. Defensively, early contributions as a corner or even a nickel are very much in the cards. I think that can go both ways. Notre Dame might be young at those positions, but they are veteran-led at the top, and they are deep. So when you have veterans there, I mean, look at the linebacker core, an abundance of talent, veteran-heavy at the top, and then you got the young talent in. This is the same thing in this defensive secondary, and they are two very strong groups. And the Notre Dame staff has already had these conversations about the implementation of different packages for Golden at wideout. But if you're looking at both immediate impact and long-term development, I think it's safe to say quicker advancement in playing time is going to come at defensive back. Incredible speed makes him a tough match for opposing pass catchers. The same could be said when he's running routes on the other side. And while he'll continue to develop his press situations, Golden's understanding of the position is undeniable. And I think it's rare to see that with freshmen this early. Tracking skills are among the best at his position in the 25 recruiting class. And to me, it clearly appears Notre Dame lands a key piece here now and in the coming seasons with this inking of Golden. And if you're asking me where Golden is today on the depth chart, 7 weeks before the start of the season, I would say behind Christian Gray, where he could see a good amount of time with Cree Thomas, a fellow freshman who we talked about last week. If he plays nickel, competition is obviously there with presumptive starter Devontae Smith, the Alabama portal transfer, and talented sophomore Carson Hobbs. But there is a direct path here with the likes of Cree Thomas and Dallas Golden, today's highlight player, because you just can't dismiss what they bring, even as true freshmen. Special teams, obviously. You talk about red shirts. I don't necessarily think that's the case here because if you could be impactful right away, that's exactly what Marcus Freeman, Chris Ash, and all those guys want from their defensive players and all their players. So it's going to be fun to watch, but this is the type of kid that can lead your secondary in the future. And you talk about some of the younger guys that they brought in with the upcoming 26 class, the Joey O'Briens of the world, already having guys like Golden, Mark Zachary here, Cree Thomas, a budding star and sophomore Carson Hobbs. The future is beyond bright, and Dallas Golden is going to be a major part of the success here moving forward as quickly as August 31st of this year when the Irish are down playing the Hurricanes in Coral Gables to kick off the season. I want to get into some fan commentary before we wrap up today. The fan base is absolutely pumped up about the inking of Ellis McGaskin, and why not? I'm right there with you. God Country 1842 saying Ellis McGaskin is a monster. Already over 250 tackles and 34 for loss is diabolical. Hell of a pickup for the Irish. Could not agree with you more, my friend. And to me, the fact that this commitment happened so quickly after just one visit to campus says a lot about the mutual admiration between the university program and the young man. James Vizzle says that McGaskin reminds him of former Irish linebacker Tavon Coney, James Vigil 2216. That is a great comparison, and that really got me thinking there. James also said that McGaskin projects as a Mike linebacker, and that's fair as well. The two are the same height, Coney and McGaskin, at least at the present time, and Coney is a free agent still for the NFL and the USFL, looking to get back in the swing of things. But he has about a 40-pound advantage on the soon-to-be junior McGaskin. But McGaskin, of course, is going to put on additional size and muscle in the coming high school seasons. The ability there, though, to swing to different positions on that second level is an unbelievable asset. Coney, during his time at Notre Dame, was a force across 4 years. And when you talk about guys coming in here whether it's a Davion Dixon, Chris Burgess Jr., or secondary guys like Zachary, Thomas. Coney sort of delivered a blueprint for immediate success. During his freshman year, appeared in 12 games, instrumental on special teams. From there, his role grew. During the sophomore and junior campaigns, one of the leading tacklers for the Irish during those seasons. Came back for his senior campaign in 2018, and he helped the Irish reach the college football playoff. So immediate impact as a freshman, mostly on special teams, but he built his own personal pipeline there, which just shows that there is a path or a blueprint for success when you come in as a high-ranking recruit as a true freshman. And again, just our buddy 30 over easy echoes what I said last week about the timing of these commitments. It seems every time you drop a video within an hour or so, there's another new commitment. It happens, but that's great news, right? Just because I'm not breaking it doesn't mean it doesn't have significance. And it's funny because I have a lot of buddies involved with Irish media, both in South Bend and across the country, and they've even noted how this has been happening with putting out shows and then boom, a few minutes later, you get a recruit commit. And now again, while I do aim to present a unique brand of Notre Dame football media here, not everything I'm going to discuss is breaking news. We've certainly had our fair share of it. But as long as I can continue to break down the current roster, incoming recruits, and all things Notre Dame football in my own light, I'm more than content. So far, I think so good. I think the fan base is enjoying it, and I appreciate it. As always, folks, I love the interaction, the feedback. You are the reason this show continues to grow here at Fan Arch and Notre Dame Daily, and I am truly, truly grateful. It's been a blast. I'll talk to you all again tomorrow, where I absolutely do want to give my thoughts on the latest injury to Notre Dame offensive lineman Charles Jagasaw, which came across over the weekend. Tough situation across the board, but I might have sort of a unique take on what happened there. With situations like this, you got to make sure you're fully informed, and you don't want to be going out and hammering people in this day and age. You got to be careful with that. But this is not me neglecting it. We're going to kick it to tomorrow, where we got a lot on the table to discuss. I hope you have a great rest of yours. And as always, go Irish.